Hello and welcome to the Daily Space for today, Tuesday, September 24th, 2019. My name is Dr. Pamela Gay, and I'm here to put science in your brain. I'm also here to ask you to help us out. One of the things that happens around here is we sometimes need to take breaks between launches, landings, and other special events. And during those breaks, we don't want to go off air because we know that will cause us to lose our audience. And we kind of like you and want to keep you around. Now, what we'd like to do to fill that space is to follow the lead of our good friends at DragonCon TV and create a series of amusing bumpers, memes, and other content that we can put up in a self-running slide deck animation, whatever you want to call it, to fill that space and still keep you entertained. Now, if you have ideas, we'd love to hear. And I think the best place to hear right now is over on our Discord. So if you have any ideas, share them out. One of the things that will be happening is we will be creating a specific form that allows you to send us your ideas. And if you've never watched DragonCon TV, well, don't do it right now, but click on over after the show. We'll put a link in the chat. So, today is a fairly slow news day, but it's not a no news day. As any of you who've been around for a while today know, earlier today, the Japanese HTV-8 Resupply mission to the International Space Station successfully took off. This mission had been delayed from an earlier planned departure on September 10th. The delay was because there was a fire on the mobile launch facility, and while this fire didn't affect the spacecraft, there were concerns that it might have affected the launch facility and could have created issues that would lead to, unsuccessful launch or further damage to the launch facility. As you can guess from today's lecture, things are A-OK over in the launch facility. And now the 4 tons of materials in that capsule are on the way to the astronauts on the ISS, where they will rendezvous at far too early in the morning on Saturday morning. I am hearing reports that rendezvous is scheduled for around 6:30 in the morning Eastern Time. We probably won't be bringing that to you here on CosmoQuest because, let's face it, sleep is a thing. But we are pleased to share that the launch did carry on board it not just the normal consumables, food, and other things that the astronauts need day to day, but it also carried 6 ion batteries that are going to be used to replace the batteries out in solar array, P6. This is when you're looking at one of those standard pictures of the ISS with the capsules and stuff underneath and the solar panels across the top. This is the panel that is furthest out on the right on the International Space Station. They are also carrying a new Sony-developed laser communication system. It does not involve sharks with lasers, but it is cool nonetheless. Now, from one piece of spacecraft news to another, we are going to break our normal habit of not discussing spacecraft until they launch to bring you what is a completely unprecedented situation arising out of NASA yesterday. In both 2010 and 2015, the NEOcam mission received funding to work on developing new cameras and other technology needed to build a spacecraft to survey near-Earth objects. These are asteroids in orbits that cross the Earth's orbit and are, potentially going to someday cause a very bad day on our planet. This is a matter of both scientific interest and of planetary defense. NEOcam was originally proposed to the Discovery mission funding stream out of NASA. This is a series of mission proposals that fund science missions to do, well, cutting edge science using a fairly low cost spacecraft. NEOcam was directed by project investigator Amy Mainzer, and has been really a well-run and beautifully advancing program until recently, when it wasn't funded to continue, even though it was, suggested to launch in just a few years. Well, yesterday, this mission got a very strange reformulation and relaunch. In a NASA announcement put forward by NASA's Zurbuchen, it was announced that a mission similar but not identical to and no longer led by Amy Mainzer, a new mission would be directed out of NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab. While it was said in the announcement that there would be roles for the science team members that had developed the NEOcam mission, these roles weren't outlined. The funding these people would receive wasn't detailed. But what was said is they're moving this mission out of the Discovery program and instead into NASA's planetary defense funding line. This is a new funding line where they have more than $100 million this year dedicated to planetary defense. And I'm not talking military defense. I'm talking defense against like asteroids and other things coming at us from space that aren't human-made. So where this is raising a certain amount of discomfort is there are people out there who've dedicated decades of their life to planning for and developing instrumentation for this mission, who are hearing they will have a role in the new mission's future. But is that role going to be one that's advisory? Is it one where they're going to be able to continue working on the instruments and plans that they had already been planning for so many years? Or is it something else entirely? So there's a lot of confusion right now. And this is one of those times where I think a lot of us are going to be watching and seeing what happens, because one of the potentials is all the people who did all the work to make this mission happen are going to be told, thank you, you can be advisors now. And all of the efforts are going to be brought in-house and run strictly out in the NASA Jet Propulsion Lab. We don't know. We have no idea. But sometimes when something unprecedented happens, that's when you need to watch the closest of all. So we're watching, and we're really hoping to see Amy and everyone else in the amazing team that she pulled together thrive and get to be significant funded parts of seeing this new mission move forward. All right, from that very confusing story, I bring you a story that is just plain kind of delightful. This is a story I would have missed if it wasn't for Mika McKinnon correcting herself in a tweet a couple of weeks ago. In Mika's tweet, she was talking about how a mineral she was discussing as part of this month's Twitter-based Mineral Bowl, where they are pitting minerals against one another in a contest of scientific popularity. Well, she pointed out that one of the minerals was one of the rarest out there, and then corrected herself to say, no, this other stuff, Goldschmidt, or rather Goldschmidtite. It is the rarest mineral of all. And this required a little bit of reading to find out more. Well, it turns out in a new paper published on September 1st that there was found in a diamond a single grain of material pictured here that is made of stuff that is combined in a way we've never seen before. Here, I'm going to pause for a moment and I'm going to look up the contents of this mineral so that I don't inadvertently lie to you. And of course, the article I'd been reading has been replaced with an advertisement. So this will take me just a moment. Live television, everyone. Live television is always so fun. So this new mineral called Goldschmidtite is made of high concentrations of niobium, potassium, and rare earth elements, xanthium and cerium. And one of the things that makes this so exciting is this diamond likely formed more than 100 miles beneath the surface of our planet. And where it formed is someplace we can't go digging to grab samples. So this diamond that was created in the great pressures of our planet and was pushed up towards the surface until it was mined in South Africa. This is not a blood diamond. This is a legal diamond. This diamond, with its amazing imperfection, is worth more than any of the most, pristine and perfect clarity diamonds out there because of this single grain of material. This is our sample of what the Earth's mantle is like. And this is kind of awesome. So let's end on this note where diamonds are a scientist's best friend, and the more impure, the better. As I said, it's a kind of slow news day, so things are short, and I am now going to answer your questions. While you type them in, I'm going to remind you to please at CosmoQuestX, and it's a little bit easier. Instead of that, you can also just use the circle with a star inside of it emote. That will really help us find your questions and answer them. While you're typing those in, I'm going to say once again, this has been The Daily Space. My name is Dr. Pamela Gay, and I and Annie Wilson are the primary hosts on this channel, and we also get help from Paranor, who is one of our mods and also co-streams other events for you. We bring you The Daily Space most Mondays through Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. That is 6 p.m. London time. On Sundays, Annie brings you the Sunday Science Hour. Wednesday nights, we co-stream the Weekly Space Hangout. And Friday afternoons, we also co-stream Astronomy Cast. And we monitor this site as well as the YouTube streams to make sure we can answer all of your questions. Okay, so we're brought to you by you. This month, we are so pleased to say we were able to reach and exceed our 50 sub goal. Thank you so much for making this September a fabulous one for all of us here at the Daily Space. We are brought to you by you. We are able to pay Susie and Annie because your bits, subs, and patronage over at patreon.com, is here to support us. Now, if you can't support us financially, we totally get that. And one of the best things you can do to help us out is to spread the word. You never know whose life you're going to make a little bit better with science. Okay, so now to the questions. Scrolling. Hello, Raj Luthra. I am well. Thank you for asking. Yes, Veronica Cure, they were totally joking about Serenity. Oh, I'm sorry, Combinacious. I need to figure out our loudness issues. Standard internet value is to stream at an average of 18 decibels. I need to figure out where we're at. Yeah, we're working on this. I need to re-render our intro video, I think. I'm looking for more questions. Still looking for more questions. You guys do not have questions today. Thank you, Veronica Cure, for gifting subs. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Halunda, get those emotes out and enjoy them all over Twitch. You now have rockets and rovers you can use to explore our network. Oh, I don't forget Susie. I just sometimes forget to say that Susie is chief cat herder around here and is our producer. We actually have a slide. I should use the slide. We have a slide that you can't see because I forgot to change the color of the font. Let's see if I can do this from across the room. No, I can't. I can't. Let's see. I think, yeah, I can't do this from across the room. But I will update this slide so it's not white letters on a white background. And yes, we are produced by Susie Murph, who is an amazing herder of all things human. So Henny is commenting that she thinks she heard about there being a lost continent under Europe. How could that be? So the idea is that our planet is covered in a series of plates, and these plates move around with time. And imagine, if you will, a room that has tiles on the floor that aren't actually attached to the floor. You can move them around with your feet. If you shake the room, the tiles will move. Now, our planet is roiling with internal heat, and this drives the motions of the plates. And just like when you're trying to move plates in that room when they're not attached to the floor, they're going to rub up against each other, and sometimes they're actually going to slide one under the other. And so that article, which I'll find and bring up for tomorrow's Daily Space if I can, or Thursday's rather, tomorrow's a spacecraft update. That is actually a case of one plate landing underneath another, and that's their definition of a lost continent. It's the materials of a prior plate ending up underneath what we currently see on the surface. I do need to learn more about it, but it's a reminder that our world is a whole lot weirder than a lot of people think. Looking to see. Yes, Susie is very much a human Australian Shepherd. It's true. It's true. Okay, so I'm going to admit I'm really hungry. And so we're going to end here so I can go get lunch and record our podcast version of the show and work on writing a grant, which I really don't enjoy, but it really needs to happen. We have a podcast. You should go subscribe. And I also have a dehumidifier that just clicked on rather loudly. So if you're a podcast listener, we do release a clean edited version that is hopefully highly produced of the content that you hear on the Daily Space. It goes into slightly different details because I'm reading from a script. And I would love it if you would all give it a listen. We're only seeing about 80 listens a day right now, and I'd like to see that number go up a couple orders of magnitude. So check it all out at dailyspace.org. And if you ever miss us live here on twitch.tv, you can catch an archived version of all of these episodes over on youtube.com/C for channel/CosmoQuest. So that's it. That's all we've got. This has been The Daily Space. We are produced by Susie Murph, and we are a production of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We're brought to you by you. We are made possible through your subs, your bits, your donations, and your patronage over at patreon.com. Follow us on Twitter. I don't say that very often, but we're getting ready to start having a whole train of events occurring. So give us a follow at CosmoQuestX and find out when events will be happening. The next event that we'd like to share is next Saturday, October 5th. I will be giving a talk at the Flandau Center in Tucson, Arizona at 7 p.m. in the planetarium. So if you're in the Tucson, Phoenix area and you don't mind the drive, come meet me and check it out. We will be doing some sort of a meetup directly before the event at a local venue that I'm probably going to be figuring out later today. If you can't support us financially, we totally get it. Please just get the word out. Share what we're doing. Retweet our tweets. We have an Instagram account, CosmoQuestX on Instagram. Repost what we post. Just share the word. Sometimes that is the most important thing you can ever do. That's it. That's all I've got. I'm going to run the credits. And discover that it doesn't want to roll the credits. Let's try this again. Go. There we go. So wherever you are in the world, have a fabulous morning, evening, afternoon, and get outside and look up. Bye-bye.